Who is this guy over here? Yo, what's up, everyone? I'm on my way to my apartment, and I just thought that I got an hour left to go, and I think that this is a good time to just do like a little recap of my story and let you guys learn a little bit more about me and my process and my past and what it's been like these last few months, because this is like a new beginning, a new chapter for me. I'm going back to school, mostly to play soccer and to get out of my house and live by myself, which I think is definitely going to help me level up in a lot of areas. But yeah, for those of you that don't know, I've played soccer since I was like 6 years old, at an elite level with club teams since I was like 10. I was just always, school and soccer was pretty much my life coming up. Spent who knows how many hours driving to tournaments and games all over the country. So I missed out on a lot through middle school and high school, and sacrificed a lot, obviously. And when you put that much time into something, it's hard to just walk away without really getting a true ending. So I want to go out on my terms, and so I'm going back to state school, Alfred State College in New York, and we're going to win everything. I was at a school a year ago, hated online school, but yeah, we can start the story back there. So yeah, when COVID hit, summer of 2020, I was just, not in a good space mentally. I was dealing with my problems in bad ways. I was drinking a lot, just wasn't in a good state of mind. I was, socially isolated, and things were tough. Things were tough then for sure. But I knew about Amazon back then, and I seen people doing the chlorine and the patio heaters. I just didn't have the mindset now where I dive in and take things head on. I never even opened up an account, and I knew all this stuff was going on, and I knew I've known for a long time that I wanted to start an online business, and whether it be drop shipping or Amazon. So yeah, I knew what it was back then, but I was just in a bad place, and so that kind of carried on into my first semester of college. Still drinking a lot. Met some good friends on the soccer team, but there were a lot of not so good people I met at school as well. Carried over a lot of bad habits there. Just overall wasn't happy. Really wasn't happy. Hated online school. Didn't know why I was paying for this stuff. Just really depressed and not happy with where I was. So after the spring semester ended, I was back home. I had stopped going to class, and my grades were terrible. I was going to have to take a few summer classes, I think, or something, for me to be able to go back and be able to play at the start of the season. And obviously, I was training with the team previously, but with COVID, we didn't have any games, so it was just practice. So I still have yet to play a real college game yet. And like I said, that was my trajectory ever since I really started playing. How good of a school can I get into? I always had good grades in high school, and where am I going to play was always the question. So it was tough mentally to deal with that, knowing that I wanted to change. Something had to change, just based on where my head was at. I just wasn't happy. I really wasn't happy, and so that summer had a few really tough conversations with my parents, mostly my dad. And for them too, it was kind of a surprise, me saying, I don't want to go back to school. I hate it. It's useless. I want to start my own business. And that was when I kind of started to watch Avery, Rakin, and Reezy. Was like August 2021, so about a year ago today. And was just watching YouTube. Wasn't doing anything. Again, not taking any action, just overanalyzing everything. And yeah, so I was just, in a weird spot. I thought about going to play at a community college, but I wasn't in great shape. I was, again, just making bad decisions and hanging out with the wrong people. Not to say that my old friends, I don't know old friends. I'm not really in touch with a lot of these people anymore. They weren't bad kids. It was just their priorities were a lot different than mine. But obviously they couldn't see that because I was, doing the same things that they were to, kind of push everything off. And, that's why people drink. I didn't have a drinking problem. I'll just make that clear. It was just, I wasn't firing on the same cylinders that I am now. I was pretty much doing like what every normal, maybe not normal, but 19-year-old kid would be doing during the summertime. Just, drinking beers and being a retard with my friends, gambling too much. I had a couple of bad gambling stories where I lost a lot of money, and so that's one thing I want to.
In 1 mile, turn right onto County Road 37.
If the people that you're around are holding you back, because a bad group of friends is a cage, and I was putting myself in a cage by hanging around these people too much, and a lot of those people don't want you to succeed, because when they see you start to make positive changes with your life, and they know that they could be doing the same things, but they choose not to, it makes them envious and jealous, and you don't want to be around those kind of people. My circle now is full of ambitious, positive people that push me to be better every day and hold me accountable. People like Miles, who I met, we'll get to there, but yeah, so we're still around that August 2021 time. And another big thing was, I don't know if anyone follows me that still uses nicotine, like Hides or Juuls, or
turn right onto County Road 37.
Those kind of things. But I had been hooked on those ever since I was in like 8th or 9th grade. And my family history and myself personally have a very, very addictive personality. And anyone who has dealt with this in the past knows how difficult it can be dealing with that stuff. So yeah, I was just crazy addicted.
Keep left onto County Road 37.
Vaping and numbing myself with bad activities and hanging around.
Turn right onto Johnson Hill Road.
And I just had to check the directions. So yeah, I knew that I wanted to. Quitting nicotine was actually one of my biggest accomplishments so far this year. It's been almost a full year since I've had any, and I feel amazing. The first 2 weeks were horrible, and a month or two after that also wasn't easy. But yeah, that's probably one of my biggest achievements this year, was kicking that bad habit, and that's honestly where the chugging came from. Was getting off of the nicotine. I brought on that jug, and it's funny how that all started. But that's a good message in itself. Is the bad habits you have, when you start to get rid of them, it leaves a void. And you need to fill it with something. So fill it with something positive. And that's for all addiction to bad habits. You should follow that rule. So, yeah, August, September, everyone had gone back to school doing their own thing, and there I am in Victor, New York, with my parents and my grandma, all under the same roof. And it was all right for a month or so. I was working out a lot and overanalyzing Amazon things on YouTube. Still not really doing anything, just watching videos and dabbling with things. And I opened up my LLC, got that squared away. And I think it was probably middle of October, I finally went to the goddamn thrift store and scanned some books with my seller app after I'd gotten my account approved and everything, and I found a few books. And I saw someone there that was scanning using Scout IQ. I knew what it was. I was one of those people that knew everything about the business but hadn't done anything. So if I make fun of people like that, I probably shouldn't, because I was the same way. But I ended up having a conversation with that kid. He hits me up every now and again. Obviously, I am destroying him in terms of sales, not to be an asshole, but I knew that's how things would play out, which is funny. First trip to the thrift store was about middle of October. And went and got Scout IQ, started building out some of my own little systems. I spent looking back, I spent way too much time.
In 2 miles, turn right onto Johnson Hill Road.
Getting rid of stickers with Scotty peelers and just doing every little extra thing I could, which maybe helped out. Maybe it didn't, but the early days were, still like learning Scout IQ, knowing what kind of books I wanted to pull. It was just really nice to have my own thing. And you guys should take pride in that. Because not a lot of people have the balls to go out and start something. So I was doing that, cherry picking, just in my 2 local spots, and remember getting my first sale for like $11, a book on sausages, and I was ecstatic. And I was, showing my parents like the first boxes, and as I went on, they got less and less excited. They were less and less enthused. This is something I want to touch on for those few early months there. It was lonely. Nobody else is really selling on Amazon in your area that you're gonna know. From my parents' perspective, it's like you just left one of the best business schools in the country to start selling used books. He doesn't have a job, and what the fuck is he doing? And of course, I had already analyzed and seen where everything was going in my vision. And like I said, I basically started with nothing, probably a couple $100. Into the winter, just another tough period. The winters up here are cold and gray, and I just didn't have really any support. It was just me, and I wanted to find a way to reach out and connect with people. So I started the Instagram, and
turn right onto Johnson Hill Road.
Real OGs out there, you'll know what my first username was. But it was Bowen, BAS _ and that is the name of my LLC, Bowen Bought and Sold. So it was that with a little white logo that I had, and Facebook.
In 1.1 miles, turn left onto Johnson Hill Road.
And so I made that, and I was joining all of Miles and Warner's lives and Avery's lives, And you guys might have seen a couple of the first DMs I sent to Avery that were just so embarrassing. Like, he thought I was like just a stupid fanboy, which I probably sounded like one. But yeah, joining Miles and Warner live streams, and I don't even really know what's going on. Yeah, just getting more information, and yeah, they Miles followed me on Instagram, and this was probably in February, and we started talking a little bit. We got to know a little bit about each other, and
At the next stop sign, turn left.
he added me to a group chat with a bunch of other sellers, and that I had already, I had watched their content and looked up to and admired. And I had like 30 or 40 followers, and I thought it was fucking awesome. Like, each new follower was a blessing, and it was just crazy exciting knowing I had this little tiny community that nobody that I was really talking to in the outside world really knew about, and still doesn't really know about. I haven't told my parents.
At the stop sign,
siblings,
turn left onto Johnson Hill Road.
any of my friends.
Then continue onto Bald Hill Road.
So yeah, I was just in my own little world, and the reason I was documenting all this stuff was really just for myself, to be able to, that I knew I would look back on someday, and also as a way to connect with some like-minded people, and share my story and get positive feedback for what I was doing, because I wasn't getting any from the people who I was with, by myself in the middle of nowhere in Victor with my grandma and my two parents.
Continue onto Bald Hill Road.
Didn't really understand what I was trying to build, where this all was heading. So that's why I originally started the Instagram, and I never want to lose sight of that, because at its core, it's very, very, it's just, trying to find the right word, but just a great reason to start something. Look at this asshole passing me. Fuck you, buddy. Go fuck yourself. But yeah, I never want to lose the roots of why I started the Instagram. So yeah, February, started talking with Miles and all these other people. I knew it, still just selling books. I'm driving in fucking snowstorms in Buffalo to different Goodwills. Looking back, he's just so stupid. But it was all I could do, was grind out books and document as much as I could, because I didn't have capital. I had a $500 credit limit, and I had probably maybe like $500 to $1,000 at this point, and I was just reinvesting everything into the business. I wasn't thinking about profits really at all. It's only until recently where I really started to actually make some money. And I knew this, and I told everyone who was supporting me this, and so most of them understood and were like, why don't you just do this, why don't you just do that? And I was just like, listen, there's really no options for me here. So it was just library sales, driving all fucking over the place to thrift stores, and even there was this one dude who I met at a Goodwill early on, and I drove out to his house in the middle of nowhere, and he like cooked me bread, and I like scanned all of his cookbooks, and his name was Norm. Shout out to Norm. But I'll never forget that day either. And one other thing I'll touch on is, those times where I was doing all this, it's really just all blind self-belief. Like I said, I left pretty much a perfect situation. For a lot of kids my age, I'm sure would love to have had the situation I had previously. And there were some days where like, what, did I make the wrong decision? Am I wasting my time? So yeah, this is not for everyone. You're not going to get support from your parents and peers right away. They're not going to understand. And if you're looking for people's
continue on to South Main Street,
life, you got to make decisions for you. And that is one thing that will always be true. You cannot make choices based on what other people think you should be doing, ever. So, yeah. So that's around February time. I'm just grinding. Same thing into March. And I think that is the time where I changed my username to Billyflips. I remember the night I was sitting in my living room and looking at my Instagram. I probably had like 60 or 70 followers. I was like, you know what? All right, let's do something with this. I see everyone else's usernames. I was like, I can do this shit easy. I've always been a meme guy. I've always been a decent editor on iMovie. Well, better than decent. Just a really creative person when it comes to social media. That's another reason why I started the IG, because I knew I could take it somewhere. So I was like, okay, I need a name. And my parents and friends used to call me Bob or Billy Bob or Billy. So I was like, you know what? Billyflips. That's a pretty fucking awesome name. It's got a good ring to it. And yeah, unfortunately we still got the underscore, but yeah, that was the birth of Billyflips, was in March. And yes, pretty much in the same boat as I was. I think I'd probably done like 4,000 in sales, all books, just all grimy library sales, trenches, fucking trenches. You guys can go look back at my earlier posts, fucking trenched. And it was just me with really no support system. Just a fucking camera and a dream. And without you guys, like, I don't know if I'd still be doing this, really. I might have given up. And especially you guys like Miles, who were obviously already super established, but, saw that I actually gave a fuck and, was super inspiring. So then April comes around and Avery and Taylor are doing their Miami thing. So you guys can look at the post I made when I bought my ticket, but yeah, that $600 was probably, well, the whole weekend cost me about $1,000, and that was probably about all I had made from selling books. So that again goes to show you, when you're trenching it, you're starting out, you got to be willing to invest in yourself no matter what. That's got to come before everything. So yeah, I made the leap, bought the ticket, and shout out to Kevin Vasquez Reyes. If you guys aren't already following him, go follow him. He's the homie. And we stayed in a little Airbnb together. He DM'd me early on. I was like, hey, I got this place if you need a place to stay. Because I was already telling people, like, they knew I didn't have any fucking money. That this ticket was going to break my bank pretty much. And yeah, we made it happen. And that was just a really awesome weekend for a lot of reasons. I knew that Avery's bozo ass wasn't going to teach me much at the event, but I had to go and meet these people, because it's, at the end of the day, the community is what's going to really help you level up. Some people can go and do it on their own, but those people are few and far between, and they will not make it as fast as those of you who actually go out and connect with people. So that was a very big reason why I wanted to go. And again, my parents did not understand this. My dad thought I was getting ripped off, and and I knew he would think this way. But I was like, hey, I don't fucking care what you think. I'm going to this fucking event, and no questions asked. And it was just crazy to finally meet everybody that I had really been watching since, August, when I made the decision to pretty much leave my entire old life behind for something completely unknown, trusting people I had never met, just had watched online, and had started to interact with a little bit more through Instagram in the coming months. But yeah, I finally met Avery. Rakin was crazy to me. He's an awesome dude. Carter, Kevin, obviously. Just a lot of awesome people were there. Taylor, obviously. Then we met Amazon Lit. Caleb Roth, obviously, a great dude. He was awesome to finally meet and talk to. I'm sure I'm forgetting a ton of people, but it was just an amazing. John Muscarello was great to finally meet. Awesome guy as well. Checkmate Flips, Seth was awesome. He was in my DMs really early on, checking in on me, helping me out, giving me advice. All these guys were, and just goes to show how selfless a lot of this community is. If you're willing to go and try things and actually take action, everyone is going to help you. Literally everybody who has Instagram is going to try and help you in some shape or form. And yeah, that weekend was great to finally meet everyone, and was also inspiring and fired me up to see, if these kids are fucking doing 50,000 a month, I'm going to be doing 100. So
continue on to South Lackawanna Street.
May was more of the same. Still working out a lot, still doing books, still only had about $1,000 credit limit. At this point, I'm fully competent with online arbitrage. I had placed a few orders, but I can't really buy quantity.
For 18 miles, continue straight.
Because I didn't have access to credit or a big enough cash balance, and that is also a reason why I was declined from a lot of business credit cards. May goes by, clock is ticking, parents still aren't fully on board with what I'm doing. They're pressuring me to go back to school for the wrong reasons. I knew I wanted to go back and play soccer. A lot of things are up in the air. And they still were up until about a week ago. So, yeah, and this whole time, my processes with books are getting so much better. I'm just better at finding stuff and getting stuff out the door. I also was just, the amount of library, there was this library sale in Pennsylvania that I drove 4 hours to go to and found nothing. And I got a speeding ticket on the way there. But I still made a fucking YouTube video. That's what the fucking dream is about. And that was my currency when I knew, okay, I'm probably making less than minimum wage. I probably should be working at fucking McDonald's right now so I can actually have money to buy products. But I knew that documenting my book journey was social leverage. And I was right. The people I've met, the relationships I've built through Billyflips have been already a 1,000x return. And nobody wants to see a video of some 20-year-old kid working at Walmart. They want to see the kid in Walmart scanning the clearance aisle, whether he's making a dime or not. And yeah, just a lot of great memories I'll have driving around looking for books. Hours on the road. hours to go to libraries. So yeah, June, I hit 2 really nice library sales. The Instagram was picking up. And I was like, you know, I am done waiting. I need to fucking go balls deep. I'm ready to do OA hard right now. Can't wait anymore. This needs to happen. And we're out at probably like 10,000 in sales, all books, pretty much all books. I have done a few OA orders. So I made a PowerPoint. I probably didn't have to, but I did just to make sure that it happened. So my dad would apply for an Amex Plum and add me as a user. And he did. And that was an awesome day. I posted a story of me fucking running through the streets, just freaking ecstatic. This was like a month ago. And yeah, early July, boom, spent $5,000 out the gate. Dad was pissed. I told him I'd only spend $5 to start. I spent a little bit more than that. He was pissed. So I go to another family member and I show him my numbers, my spreadsheets, this and that. And I got a $10,000 loan, 7%. Gave me a little more capital to work with. Continued to spend. And ran up the plum to around 40,000. And like, remember this, I had already built up so much prerequisite knowledge, an amazing network.